Okay, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining the FOODITY Open Call number 2 webinar. We're going to be talking today a little bit about the FOODITY project. We'll get into the details of this open call, what we're looking for, and we will also cover in more detail the data architecture that has been built in this project and give some space for Maja from DRG for Food, that's our sister project, to also talk about her open call. And we will wrap this up with a Q&A. So please do feel free to ask questions as they come to you. You can put them in the chat and we will answer them at the end of the session. I want to thank you again for coming. This session is being recorded, so you can access this again after this event. And we can get started by handing it over to Samuel Almeida, the coordinator of this project. Oh, and actually, let me show you the agenda here. So, as you can see, we will be wrapping up just a little bit after 4 o'clock. And I can tell you also a little bit about our team actually before I hand it over to Samuel. So I'm Nika Levikov. I'm the open call manager for the FOODITY project. I've already mentioned Sam. We also have Hans Houf with us, who is responsible for data infrastructure and management from Jibe. And Fadwa Rekik will be speaking as well from SOFTEAM. She is a research engineer and talking to you in a bit more detail about the data lake. Okay, I would like to hand it over now to Samuel to present the FOODITY project.
Thanks so much, Nika, for the introduction. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Let me thank also the FOODITY team that is here and those that aren't for doing really great work. And also welcome to Maja, who's here from our sister project. So I'm going to do a 5-minute roundup of what the FOODITY project is, and Nika is going to help me skip the slides as we go along. So let's get to it. Next slide, please. So to anyone who is recurring here and let's say a second-time visitor to our webinars, you'll probably remember these slides, and it's something that I like to repeat because it keeps people thinking, and it fits nicely, I think, what we're doing in FOODITY. And so the provocative questions that we like to put out there is to have you think a little bit about your food, nutrition, and your health habits, as well as the different apps associated with your smartwatch, your mobile phone, the services you use, for example, from your loyalty cards when you go shopping. And think a little bit and ask yourself, like, what data do you generate? Do you think about that? You know, the steps, the kilometers that you run, the groceries that you buy when you go shopping. Do you ever think about what kind of data you're giving away and who has access to that data? You know, Samsung, Apple, Xiaomi, to name a few of the more like sport technology brands in the fitness area, Fitbit, or your local grocer. If you wanted to, could you access that data freely? You know everything that has been collected about you? And more importantly, if you wanted to erase yourself from that ecosystem, which frequently is a bit locked in, could you get that data removed? You know, erase yourself from that space, digital space that you've been. So these are the kind of questions that we like to think about and that have been driving a bit about what we're trying to do in FOODITY, which leads me to my next slide, which is exactly within FOODITY, what we want to do and what we're working on and what we've been doing for the past 1.5 years now is focusing on the best way or ideal way to put the control of people's food and nutrition data back into their hands. That's giving that control, ensuring data sovereignty, which is kind of the key concept within the project. So why is that important? Because the more control we have over data, the more knowledge we have about the data that we're giving away, that we're generating by the different activities that we do on a day-to-day basis, we can eventually, step by step, of course, it's not an overnight transformation, but we can gradually contribute to better and more sustainable food and nutrition systems. Not necessarily as an individual, we can do our part, but collectively we can make that impact. We can understand what kind of consumption patterns we're having, what kind of food we're buying, what kind of trends are happening in the food and nutrition area, and then gradually as a collective maybe induce a change in these systems. Okay, so at a more individual level, the more knowledge we have over the data, kind of repeating myself, we can, as an individual person, make more conscious choices, healthier choices as well. That can, linking back to that second item, have a bigger impact in food and nutrition systems. Okay, so in going back to what we're trying to achieve and how does this all come together within Foodity, what we want to do is develop an ecosystem of solutions, and these solutions are funded through the open calls that we're running. So that's kind of why you're here today. You want to be one of these solutions that drives change in the food and nutrition domain, right? So basically, what we want to see is that there is an opportunity for change. There is an opportunity for people to be using solutions, digital solutions that enable more control over their data that are linked to food and nutrition that can lead ultimately to a change in the way food is processed, food is among other things to simplify. So just to wrap up, there's a couple of core activities that we're doing. It's not only about open calls and the pilots in the project, but we also have a lot of technology being developed within the project. Hans and Fadwa are going to get to the specifics of the data architecture. We also have components that are available to use, as Nika will be explaining further down the road. And we do have a lot of citizen engagement activities because we really recognize that data is a bit not necessarily a taboo, but not fully aware among people. People don't really understand exactly what data they're giving away, what responsibilities they have, what rights they have as well. So we have many activities that are there to foster more awareness, and these are being run in different cities across the partners. So continue on just for another 30 seconds. I've essentially covered this. What we're trying to do is create this this dynamic ecosystem of digital solutions, all right, that respect citizens' rights to personal data sovereignty, giving back control to people. We have a €2 million pilot program, which essentially is the open calls, as I've mentioned, and we'll be funding 12 solutions. Our first set of 6 solutions that came from the first open call started earlier this year. You can find more about them on our project website. I encourage you to do so you can have an idea of what kind of innovative ideas we have ongoing. And just to wrap up, we are a consortium of 7 partners, multidisciplinary, exactly what we expect also from the consortia that we will be funding, okay? Not only technology, but also social innovation focused. So we cover technology, data, citizen engagement, and social innovation. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm probably going to send back the word to Nika. And in a nutshell, that's what we're trying to achieve. And we expect to see great things from the applications that apply to our open call. So thank you again for joining, and the ball is back to you, Nika.
Thanks so much, Samuel. I'm going to get into the details of the open call now. So again, just start putting your questions into the chat as they come, and we'll be very glad to answer them at the end. Starting with an overview of how our program is structured. So we will be funding 6 pilots in this round. There are 2 core phases. We have project implementation lasting 9 months. This is going to be the bulk of the program. It's a 1-year program and is broken down into 3 stages: specification and design, implementation, and validation. In the beginning of this phase, you will be working with our experts and mentors to detail your KPIs, both on the business side and the technical side. We will be working with you on your citizen engagement plan as well, and you have up to 150,000 euros in this part. It's important to understand that we are expecting citizen engagement from start to finish. So we want to see how you are going to be working with your end users and your target groups to develop your solution. And also in this, we expect to see activities around citizen data awareness. Phase 2, impact optimization. This is going to be 3 months up to 30,000 K. And it's important to note that in this phase, only 3 of the 6 pilots will pass. This is focused on pilot testing and business sustainability. So this is really about preparing your product for market. Also to note that we are accepting applications between TRLs 4 to 6. We understand that some of you entering in TRL 4 might not have something ready for market at the end of this program, but we are very much interested in seeing solutions that are preparing for market. The program will end in the FOODITY Star Award. So this is a live event where beneficiaries will present their results to a jury, and one lucky team will win an additional 7.5K. Who are we looking for? We really care about diversity. That is essential for success. So your team must be led by a technical partner, which is also an SME or a startup. So this is going to be the tech, basically the data-driven solution, but also in your consortium, we would like to see a mix of research and technology organizations and universities that are doing research around challenges in the food and nutrition sector. We're interested in social innovation actors that are looking into citizen empowerment and have ideas around how we really spread that data awareness. It's important to note we have defined social innovation in the guidelines. This is not about how you're registered as an entity, it's about what you do. If you are doing social innovation, it doesn't matter if you're registered as a profit or not for profit, okay? We're also looking at training organizations that are doing training for careers in the food industry. We are accepting consortia between 2 and 3 partners. In the case that you are a 2-partner consortium, it can be 2 SMEs. However, if you have a 3-partner consortium, the 3rd partner must be a nonprofit. We want to see the diversity in your team, the multidisciplinary expertise, and we're expecting to see your capacity for citizen engagement and social innovation. It's also important to note that we are focused on Europe. We want to see your plan for entering the European market if you're not in there already. And the lead partner must be a European country. We've defined what we mean by that also in the guidelines. And another note is that unfortunately the UK and Switzerland are not eligible. You can look also in the guidelines for a list of Horizon Europe associated countries that are eligible for this call. What are we looking for? Just like in the first open call, we have 3 thematic areas that are quite broad. We did this intentionally because we want to see what kind of innovative ideas you may have that we have not thought about yourselves. And there are a lot of different potential innovations that you can come across in these areas. So the first one is shopping experiences. And this is around what perhaps some tools or some tools or services or an app that can make the experience of the citizen more pleasant, but also enable citizens to make better decisions, okay? And also reduce information overload, which I'm sure all of us here have experienced when we're in the supermarket. We're interested as well in education. So allowing citizens to understand, what do we really mean by healthy? What do we mean by sustainability in the context of food systems, and enabling us again to make better decisions and healthier ones as well, and that also factor in the environment. We're interested in services. So perhaps you have a solution that can strengthen existing networks along the food supply chain, or you have solutions that allow for a shortened food supply chain and allow for more appropriate adherence to national and European food safety standards. So these are just an example of some things that we are looking for. But again, please look at our guidelines for more information. We also have an open challenge. So perhaps you have an innovation that addresses the food and nutrition sectors, but doesn't subscribe to these themes. We welcome your proposals. Understand that we will be funding a minimum of one proposal per theme. All of the proposals are required to use the data architecture that we've built for this project. So that means that we care a lot about GDPR compliance, and we want to make sure that data are stored and managed in an appropriate way. Hans and Fadwa will talk about this in more detail soon. We have 5 optional components as well, and I would like to stress the fact that this is optional. So these food components, there are details in the technical annex. You can find this on our project website. So for example, we have one on food recognition from photos. We have another one on nutrition and activity ontology. You are welcome to look into the details, but be aware that incorporating food components into your proposals will not result in extra points. How are we evaluating your proposals? We have 4 key criteria, so concept and challenge. We want to see that your proposal is, of course, aligned with the FOODITY project and our vision. We want to see your objectives and make sure that your proposed solution advances the state of the art. Impact and innovation. You may have a great idea, but we need to see that it's truly innovative, and also how it's contributing to FOODITY impacts. We would like to see an outline of your impacts, both from a quantitative and qualitative perspective, and both short-term and long-term projected impacts. And also illustrate that how your solution is fitting into the transition to sustainable food systems and how it's including citizen data awareness. And that leads me to the next one, data rights and citizen engagement. So what is your citizen engagement plan? We understand that plans change as you work on your solution. So again, you will be working with our experts to define your citizen engagement plan more concretely at the start of the program. We're not expecting to see anything final here, but we want to see that you've thought this through. And also some kind of a data management plan. How are you planning on collecting personal data? That's very important to highlight. And when it comes to team and implementation, perhaps this goes without saying. We need to see that you have the right team to do what you plan on doing. So make sure that you have clearly explained your capacity to carry through with the technical advancement, with the citizen engagement. And also, we would like to see a very clear work plan with proposed outcomes and KPIs. Again, we do not expect final KPIs that will not change. We will work with you to refine your KPIs in more detail at the start of the program, but we want to see that you've really thought through how you plan to use the FOODITY pilot program to really scale. Okay, each proposal is going to be evaluated by 2 external evaluators, and each criteria is scored 1 to 5. The threshold is 3. And here's a look at what the application looks like online. You need to be applying through the F6S platform. We will not be accepting proposals in any other way. It's very straightforward to apply. You can see here what it looks like. If you don't have an F6S account, you will need to make one. And this is a look at the technical proposal. So it's very important that you follow the instructions on this technical proposal template. You need to download it, and then you can upload your final proposal to the platform when you apply. And an overview of our timeline. As you're aware, our open call is open now. It closes on the 10th of July, promptly at 5 p.m. CET. We will not be accepting any late applications. This is a very hard deadline. Evaluation and selecting contracting. So this will be in mid-July and conclude in late October. We will first go through an eligibility check. Then there's an evaluation, ranking, and selection. Everyone that has passed the eligibility check will receive an evaluation summary report. Those that are offered placement will go through an administrative check and contracting, and then the FOODITY pilot program will commence on the 1st of November. What are we offering for you in this program? Apart from the very attractive funding, up to 187,000 K, we also are giving you access to technology, expert mentoring, group coaching, and technical training. We really want to make sure that we're offering you what you need according to your TRL and any specific needs that you have for your plan within the program. So the coaching and the training will be around everything from legal issues to citizen engagement to any technical issues you may have in your, for example, in your app that you're building. Here's a bit more detail on what we're offering when it comes to mentoring. We have mentors that have been recruited by an expression of interest. They will support you in developing your KPIs, but also making sure that you achieve them until the end of the project or the program. And these are some examples of things that we will provide mentoring in. But again, this will really depend on your specific needs. But as you can see, we're looking at things like business modeling, decentralized technologies, financing, also understanding the ethics behind data assessment and data collection. A few key points to reiterate as I wrap up this part of the webinar. Once again, our open call is closing on the 10th of July at 5 p.m. CET. Do not wait till the last minute, so get started now if you haven't already. We are looking at consortia made up of 2 to 3 entities, led by a European-based SME, and also with the inclusion of a social innovation partner. We are looking for data-driven solutions in the food and nutrition domains that are respectful of personal data sovereignty. The minimum TRL to join our program is 4 to 6. We want to see scaling to 7 by the end of the program, but keep in mind that this is not a requirement, and this really depends on the TRL that you're at when you enter. If you're not already following us on LinkedIn and X, please do. And we have a matchmaking event that is coming up on the 23rd of May. If you have an idea, but you don't have a partner, this is the place to be. We will have 3-minute pitches on a first come, first served basis. So we are accepting proposals to pitch until Monday, the 20th. And you will have template slides provided for you. And with your consent, we will be sharing contact details at the end of the event so that hopefully you can find your match. We also have a social innovation actor showcase that we plan to put on the project website. If you are a social innovation actor and you're in need of a technical partner, we have a short form that you can fill out on F6S. Talk about your innovation. What is your next big idea? Who do you want to partner with? And then we will feature you on our website. And another overview, some final considerations. I know guidelines are long, but please read them. They have everything in there that you need to know to make sure that you are eligible and that you submit a strong proposal. Double check that you don't have any conflict of interest conflict of interest. And any entity can only participate in one proposal. Make sure that you're clear, specific, and concise. Understand that evaluators who are reading your proposal are not with the FOODITY project, so you really have to sell this to someone who may not also be sharing your same expertise. All proposals must be submitted exclusively via F6S and in English, and submit well ahead of the deadline. And some links. So you have the FOODITY project website. We have details about our open call there. Another link to the application form. We have a discussion forum on there where you can post questions. If you are having specific issues with the F6S platform, contact support@f6s.com. We also have an email if you want to email some questions. And another reminder about the matchmaking event. Now I've been speaking a lot. Thank you so much. I want to hand it over. I believe we're going now to Hans and Fadwa.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Nika. Let me share my screen. Let me share at least the right screen. So yeah, thank you very much for the introduction. So I like to discuss a little bit about the DataU architecture, and I will give the floor to Fadwa. At the moment, we talk about the data lake. Um, so we talk about DataU because we think in FOODITY that it's very important that when a citizen or when data is shared, that the data owner explicitly gives the consent to share the data, and that the data owner is also, let's say, capable of managing the data that is once it is shared. And I try to explain how that is functioning and how you, as an let's say, building new applications, how you can use our let's say DataU solutions. So very quickly, my vision of the FOODITY project. It is a project which is really, let's say, focused on the whole food and production and logistic value chain. Many organizations are active, but in the end, it produces food for citizens. And we put our, let's say, open calls, let's say, in the center. It addresses this food production and logical value chain, optimizes things, and try to involve citizens in making right choices about food. We tried that every project in the let's say open call which is selected, that they also generate data which can be fed into a data lake, and that data can be used for public analytic purposes, or even it's open and for citizens to look at it. So that we will zoom into details much more. If you look at let's say FOODITY as an architecture, we have the FOODITY website. We want to on one side, let's say, we have all the several services in which are developed by the open calls. We have the first open call services are already written here, let's say, in a vertical way. These are all projects which are already applied, and here you have XYZ services. These are the services we are looking for now in this open call. Important in the whole let's say setup is that users should access FOODITY data services via FOODITY website and via FOODITY apps, which you are going to build. And that when there is personal data involved, when there is sensitive data involved, that is, yeah, let's say, organized, and that explicit consent is given. That's a little bit the idea. So what all this is, of course, because we have in Europe, let's say, the GDPR law, and just to give a little introduction in some definitions. So the data owner, in the official language, that's called the data subject. Every service which we built that handles and stores and does analysis of data, that service, that is called a data processor. And in the terms of GDPR, we want always that a consent is there, a consent of the data subject, a consent is there to share data. So, but how does that work in the real situation? So we have on one side, if you look at the picture, we have data subjects, individuals, but sometimes data subjects can also be companies who own data. When this data is full public data, which has nothing to do with a person, it's absolutely free to share that data in every way you want. But if this data processor wants and needs, let's say, sensitive personal data, yeah, then we let's say, ask the data processor to include, let's say, the consent platform of DataU, where an explicit consent is given under a specific, let's say, contract, where the data is shared from the data subject to the data processor. So when you are applying with a project, it's essential that you build this mechanism into your proposal and into your application. So you need also the knowledge, the capability in your team to do that. Of course, we will help you. We have guidelines, we have APIs and everything, but it is important that you have the capabilities to use that. This gives you a more, let's say, in-depth view of how the distributed DataU platform is working. I'll not go into many details here. What you see on one side is that you have here data processors. As we said before, you have here the citizen of data subjects on one side. We have an entity which identifies you as a person or identifies you as a company or an organization. And we have here topic nodes, which is in fact a blockchain node, which in which the consents are stored. So once a consent is stored, then there is possible to share data from the data subject to a data processor or between data processors. That gives a little bit how it is organized on a, let's say, high-level overview. Yeah, this goes one step deeper. So the important part is on the right side. So we have here data processor 1, we have data processor 2. Data processor 2 has, let's say, specific requests for data. Data processor 1 has stored this data already in their databases. So you see that in the topic node, there you contain the blockchain with the status of consent. Via dashboard view, a citizen or a data owner can give this explicit consent. This consent is stored in the topic node. Once the data has to be shared via proxy U, which is an instant in the data processor, which you have to build into your data processor. Then when they check that the consent is valid, then data is shared from data processor 1 to data processor 2. And the owner of the data can check that and check the process via the dashboard view. So that gives an overview of what we expect you to build into your application. So that gives, let's say, an overview of where we are. And I think I'd like now to give the floor to Fadwa to explain about the data lake.
Yes, hello everyone. I am Fadwa from SOFTEAM. Today I will present the FOODITY data lake, which principal goal is to empower the open science with a comprehensive data solution in food and nutrition. So you can go next slide, please. So what is the FOODITY data lake? This data lake serves as an infrastructure supporting our data commons, facilitating the sharing of pilots and in general data providers for broader communal use within the data common for food and nutrition initiative. This data lake is built on the stack ELKA, Elasticsearch, Logstash, and Kibana. Our data lake is designed to handle the demand of big data and scale efficiently. You as a pilot can seamlessly upload and share your data, fostering collaboration and innovation within our community and with every European citizens in general. You need to upload 3 datasets at minimum in the data lake, and it will be open and have public access to each to everyone, to every European citizens. Can you go to the next slide? Yeah. So this slide shows the architecture of our data lake and the websites. We have 2 websites, one for the data provider to upload their data set and manage their data. And the other one is for the European citizen to access this data. We have a backend developed with the Spring Boot application and Kibana and Elasticsearch to hold your data. So as a data provider, you need before uploading your data, you need to register in our website for data provider, and then you can upload, download, or update your data in the FOODITY data lake. There is 2 options to upload your data. depending on the nature of the data that you are uploading. If there are personal data there, then you need to go through DataU, which is our consent management platform, to give your consent to upload the data on the data lake. And the other option, if you don't have any personal data in your dataset, then you can upload the data directly on our website. And yeah, then we have the second website, which is the website for the citizens. We provide this website to give access to the citizens and the researcher to your dataset. And the dataset that you as a pilot uploaded from the other website. And this is to the open science community broader audience to benefit. So this is, yes. Thank you very much. And if you have any question, don't hesitate, please.
Thank you so much. I believe we can now hand it over to Maja, who will talk about DRG for food.
Thank you, Nika. For some reason, I cannot share my video because it says the host has stopped it. Sorry for this. But let me share my screen. Hello everyone. My name is Maja, Open Call Manager at DRG for Food. We are now running our second open call for pilot project. And let me just give you a quick introduction to the open call and main requirements. I hope you can see my slides changing, right? Who we are and what we do, we are a sister project of FOODITY, and our focus is on supporting data-driven innovations in food sector in line with digital responsibility goals. The concept of digital responsibility goals is something unique for the project. I want to do a deep dive into the DRGs now, but I invite you to explore the digital responsibility playbook on our website and also join our upcoming webinar on June 6th. Who are we looking for? We're looking for a small consortium of 2 or 3 entities, including startups, SME researchers, and it is also desirable to include end users and citizens in your consortium. Our challenge areas are food tracking, targeted nutrition, and consumer food choices. So when submitting your application, please take into consideration these themes, these challenge areas. We have a budget of 973,100 euros for the second open call, and we expect 3 to 6 pilot projects to be funded. Of course, the number of projects to be selected depends on the requested budget of the top applicants. The minimum what you can request per project is 150,000, whereas the maximum budget you can request is 300,000 euros. Again, who are we looking for? Small consortium, 2 to 3 partners from at least 2 different countries. One of the countries has to be a European country. We had quite some number of applications in the first open call with a single country consortium, and we had to change the rule to make sure that the impact is widespread across Europe. So in case you're resubmitting your application from call 1, please pay attention to this rule and make sure you have at least 2 different countries in your consortium, one of which has to be a new country. It is no longer a requirement to have a research organization in your group. Now, in the second open call, applications can be submitted even if you have 2 SMEs on board. So this is fine. And once again, your budget can range from 150 to 300,000 euros. The financing is 100%, and it is per project funding. So it's not a budget per single partner, but the budget for the entire project. Again, we are looking for digital solutions. Unlike for our first open call, where we were looking for enablers, now we are looking for consumer-facing digital solutions in the food sector. We will evaluate your proposals based on 4 evaluation criteria: your objectives and the level of proposed innovation. Then our second criteria is basically how you aim to comply with digital responsibility goals. Again, more information about these goals can be found on our website, and please join our next webinar to learn more. The third criterion is, of course, your overall business viability and the wider impact. And the last criterion is the resources that you possess in your consortium, the complementarities, the qualifications, and how you actually designed your work in your project, activity per activity. We are looking for the technologies mostly regarding privacy enhancement, distributed ledger technologies, responsible AI approaches, and similar. The list that you see here on the screen is only a tentative list, what we expect. Of course, we welcome other technologies as well. Please, for detailed guidelines and requirements, consult our website, the open calls page, and you will be able to learn more about both evaluation and selection criteria and the technologies that we are looking for. The submissions are ongoing. The deadline is, this is a mistake, June 21st, next month. Again, we have a webinar upcoming on 6th of June, so please join us for a more elaborated version of this presentation. Following the evaluation, the submission of your applications, there will be an eligibility check to double check whether your consortia are indeed consisting of 2 or 3 partners, that there is indeed at least 2 countries in your consortium and similar. And then your proposals will be evaluated by 2 evaluators, one internal and one external. After that, there will be a ranking list where the top proposals, again, the number depends on the requested budget of the top proposals, will be invited to contracting. The projects are expected to start in September this year. Each project is divided into 3 phases. Phase 1, planning. Phase 2, which is the longest one, focuses on the actual development and piloting of your solutions. And then we have the scale-up phase, which is all about your business models, which is all about communicating your projects to a wider, let's say, ecosystem, including potential partners, investors, and similar. So again, more information can be found on our website. If you need help in finding potential partners, we have a matchmaking service always open. We only request a couple of information to be able to scan a pool of entities that also requested the same service. And you can join our matchmaking event with FOODITY next week. Please hurry up because the slots for pitching are limited. Again, thank you for your attention. Please visit our website for more information. And in case of any additional questions, feel free to get in touch via open calls at drg4food.eu. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maja. And apologies about the camera. So
It's not working. Okay, sorry for this.
oh yeah, I think I just didn't make you a co-host at first, so
No
I'm
problem,
really sorry
sorry.
about that. We have a lot of terrific questions that are coming in. Samuel and I have answered some of them already, so I'm going to go ahead and, well, before we do that, actually, we have a short poll. I believe, Samuel, you are going to issue that? Yeah, fantastic.
Just a small poll to evaluate who's attending here today. Thanks, Nika. Floor is yours when you're ready, Nika. Good to have these insights. I hope for the 22 that replied that you're thinking about submitting a proposal that you've collected some knowledge to apply. Or if being politically correct, if there's not a fit, maybe you're matching up rightly with DRG for Food, so that's fine as well. We wish our sister project a lot of luck as always.
Okay, so I'll go ahead into the Q&A then. Is that right, Samuel?
Yeah.
Perfect. I'm going to lightly go over some of the questions that have already been answered, and then we can go into the open questions. Okay. So we have, okay, there was a question about the winning teams of the first open call. For that, you can go to our project website. In regards to the lead partner, yes, it's a technical partner that must lead. We are focused on data-driven solutions. So the main criteria really is that you are an SME and that you have the capacity to develop that. Yes, unfortunately, if asked another question about the UK, and the UK is not eligible for this specific call. We have another question about consortia. There's a nonprofit that works in both research and product development with open source technologies. Unfortunately, you cannot lead because the lead has to be registered as an SME. There is an EU definition for what counts as an SME. I believe, Andrea, you're with us, and I will ask you, like last time, if you can put the link into the chat for that. When it comes to drafting the budget, we would like to see a budget for the entire pilot program. So that is for both phases 1 and 2. In terms of where the partners from one consortium are from, partners can be from the same country, but please note that we want to see entry into the European market, not just in the country that you're in. Okay, we are a tech startup developing a digital platform for the food supply chain traceability and decentralized data exchange using blockchain and IoT. There's a question about getting help with matchmaking. So I advise you, as Maja also said, that to register for our matchmaking event, because you will have a chance to pitch who you are, what you do, what you're looking for. But also, as Maja said, spaces are limited. So do this now, and hopefully you will get a chance to pitch and find the right partner. what are the criteria related to GDPR? Is it suitable to store data we collect through the mobile app using Amazon Web Services? Does GRG for Food and Foodity have preferred cloud services? Thank you, Hans, for answering. Amazon Web Services is fine. And okay, I will emphasize again about the TRL. Just like the deadline for applications, the minimum and maximum TRL are strict. So we will not accept proposals that are outside of TRLs 4 to 6. Is a social innovation actor part of the 2 to 3 partners? Yes. Your consortium must be a minimum of 2 partners and a maximum of 3. I advise everyone to take a look at, maybe Andrea, you can also post a link in the chat. I posted it here to the European Union document on Horizon Europe associated countries. So you can see there who's eligible. Unfortunately, the US is not. And again, we have defined what we count as a European country when it comes to determining whether you are Europe, which I was surprised to learn is not such an easy question to answer. Let's see, what else? Okay, is it okay to go with one SME and one universities who are both associate members of the EU? So if the SME is a European country and listed in this document that I've provided a link to, then that is fine. And of course, then the university also needs to be in that list of Horizon Europe associated countries. Okay. Just to note that we will publish this recording, so you will have access to this after the event. Okay, what is happening with data after the FOODITY project finishes? We care a lot about not just citizen data sovereignty, but we want to see a transition also into open data systems. We really believe that rather than having closed data systems, which means there's a lot of potential solutions that may never come into fruition because we don't have access to the data that are giving us information on trends and certain different relationships that are happening between citizens, behaviors, and the interactions in different parts of the food system. With this in mind, and with the understanding that open data systems can facilitate and lead to more solutions that we need for sustainable food systems, we ask that each project make a minimum of 3 data sets open and available post-project. Are we open to B2B oriented projects? That is okay. You don't necessarily have to be a B2C, but even in the case of this kind of business model, you have to be engaging citizens, you have to be promoting citizen data awareness. So if you have it in your work plan for the pilot program to do that, then this is fine. Is the postcode of a user considered as public data or personal data? All data associated with the user constitutes as personal data. When it comes to citizen engagement, are we talking about informing public policy actors, government, or end users? Of course, we are not going to discourage you from working with policy actors, but when we talk about citizen engagement, what we mean is having a direct engagement with your end users for your solution. The idea is that by bringing in your end users at the beginning, you will be advancing a technology or developing a solution that meets the needs of your target groups, which also means that you're more likely to succeed. So that is what we're expecting to see. Is it a conflict if the same SME applies for FOODITY and DRG for food? No, you can apply to both, but we will be cross-checking information to ensure there is no case of double funding. Okay, we have a question. I've asked for elaboration. So if Haber, if you want to ask another question or even raise your hand. And okay, as far as I understand, we can use our data-driven solution as long as we integrate with the DataU and data lake. That is correct. Also, oh, I'm gonna share the results of the poll so people can see that. Okay, some open questions here. Can you provide an example of social innovation? We have defined social innovation in the guidelines, so I would advise you to look at that. But I will also say that a social innovation entity in your consortium will know that they're doing social innovation. So if you're having to ask that question, then I will ask you the question of whether you have that expertise in your consortium. But please take a look at the guidelines, and hopefully that will clear it up for you. But I will also add this, that we are looking at human well-being when we talk about social innovation. And it's really important that solutions illustrate how your technology can really make our lives better and easier in the context of our decision-making in behavior change, and in making healthier, environmentally friendly choices. Okay, must the application be uploaded in a common platform? And is it free to use for everyone once the project is finished? I'm not exactly sure I understand this question, so maybe I'll hand this over to Samuel.
I think I crossed my eyes over that question. By application, I think we're talking about the solution, not the submission to the program. But the application, the IP associated with it is yours. All right, so there's no need to upload it. Make it freely available to everyone. Although that's kind of what we're trying to achieve. At least in some manner, be able to get people to use it, particularly during the development phase, right? Because as Nika has mentioned during her presentation, this is all about involving citizens in the development of the solution. So there has to be, a place where that solution can be open to use. Once it's done, once the program has ended, then it's, of course, we have interests to see your solution be successfully viable, commercializable, if I can use that expression. So that's kind of up to you to make that assessment once the project is done. So to the point of making available on a single solution, no specific requirement there, but preferably accessible for people to use as freely as possible.
Thank you so much. Where exactly do we need to pitch our idea to find additional partners? So thank you for the question. You can pitch in the upcoming matchmaking event on the 23rd. So we can post another link to that. And again, spaces are limited. So really, if you want to pitch, please fill out the application form, and hopefully there will still be a slot. We're accepting pitches till the 20th of May, okay? And with your consent, all the details of everyone who's pitched in the session will be shared, so you will be able to contact people after the event to develop a consortium if there is someone there also that aligns with what you're looking for. In the case of social innovation actors, so if you are doing social innovation and you need a tech partner, we have another very short form which you can fill out on F6S with your information, and we will feature you on the project website. And then from there, also with the consent to share your details, someone can see your profile and maybe they like you and they can contact you to develop a proposal. Okay, what are we looking for? Are we looking for a website or an application? We're not looking for something specific in this regard. What we care about is that your solution is innovative and that is data-driven. So an app is a very easy go-to example because that's often what we see when we talk about data-driven solutions. But it's not just apps. So if you have something else and it's about data, we welcome it. Of course, and then it has to align with the FOODITY vision, which means we need something that incorporates citizen data sovereignty and is addressing the food and nutrition sectors. Does the tool need to address mainly data on nutrients? I'm also not exactly sure about what this question is asking, so I'm going to go back to Samuel.
I mean, that's a very vague question, to be honest. I mean, the project is about food and nutrition. So, anything that you think fits within those domains associated to the themes that we've defined, ensuring data sovereignty, engaging citizens. If you can kind of bring these different elements together and into something that is a tangible solution that is of value, then I think that would be ideal. More than that, at the moment, we can't provide specifics. Apologies for that.
Thank you. How many applicants did we have in the first open call? 104? I'm looking at you, Samuel.
95, I think. 104 is something else, but approximately 100, give or take.
I think it was that. But yeah, let's say around 100. Okay, I see the same question again about the application, but I believe we've answered that. Clarity on EU country plus one of the 17 associated countries. Okay. Samuel?
Sorry, I was trying to find a link to share with everyone. What the question was? Sorry.
Clarification on EU country plus one of the 17 associated countries.
Right. So there was a question of from an applicant of coming from Nigeria, if I'm not mistaken. So the EU has 27 countries, okay, and there are an additional 17 associated countries or countries with association agreements. So this total of 40 something, 45, give or take. Not the best at thinking math at the moment. Those are the possible leads of the consortium. Okay, then there's a whole bunch of other countries that are eligible for funding, but they can't apply as the lead partner. I hope that is clear.
Okay, thank you. Can a social innovation be a hospital or a medical institution? My question would be, and I'm sorry, with the social innovation questions, I come back to you with a question. Is the hospital or medical institution doing social innovation? This is not about what kind of entity you are. It is about what you're doing. If you're not sure that you're doing social innovation, then please take a look at how we define social innovation in the guidelines. But we expect that your social innovation partner will be able to explain what it is that you're doing that's innovative in this regard and how that's getting incorporated into your proposal. So it doesn't matter how you're registered. It doesn't matter the entity. It matters what you're doing. Okay, I think, have I gotten them all? I believe I have, Samuel.
There were a lot of questions. I'm not sure if we managed them all, but if we didn't, we invite you to reach out to us at our email. I think you shared that in the presentation, Nika, or you can find it on our website. And anything that wasn't clear, we will try to be a bit more specific. So thank you to all the questions received.
Yeah, thank you. I'm just going to share my screen again with some links. So you have that. Everyone can see my screen. Samuel, can you see the
Yeah, looks
screen
good.
with the links?
Looks good.
Okay, that's great. So we are actually early. So does anyone else have any more questions for us before we sign off?
There was a hand raised, but I think it's been taken down, so
Okay, sorry, I didn't see that.
no worries. Again, reiterating the email that is there for everyone to reach out to us if you have any further questions. Or if we missed one of your questions in this session. Oh, it's back up from Philip Stive. Go for it, Philip.
Has Philip been unmuted?
Yes, I enabled speaking, so.
All right, so can we have a big company as part of the consortium, or do we all have to be small and medium sized?
I'm sorry, I didn't get that. Can you please repeat?
I wrote the question as well. Like, can we also have a big company as part of the consortium, or do we all have to be small and medium sized?
You have to be a startup or an SME. So corporates are not eligible.
Yeah, but what if you partner up with a corporate?
Corporates cannot be partners either. So in the case of a two-partner consortium, you can be two startups or one startup and one SME or two SMEs, but you cannot have a corporate partner.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else?
Couple of hands raised at the
Oh,
end.
perfect. So I'll let you take care of that, Samuel, because I'm not seeing them for some reason.
I'll allow Jabber Amin to talk. Go for it.
Hello.
We can hear you.
Hi. Yes.
Hello. How are you doing?
Very
my name is
well.
Jabir Amin.
Thank you. Sorry.
I'm here in Turkey. I want to ask you about something. Is it Turkey eligible for this program?
Sorry.
This is my one question.
Turkey, if Turkey is eligible, Turkey is eligible. Yes.
Turkey is eligible.
Yes.
I'm alone in this FOODITY program. I want someone to participate with me in this program. So how I can find him, or do you have a link to find someone he match the work which he will cooperate in this idea or project?
Yeah. So please register for our matchmaking event. I would advise you to do that.
Matchmaking
Yes.
event.
Yes. The spaces are limited,
Oh my God, I've been saying that so many times.
but you have till the 20th to submit a pitch during the event. You will have we provide you with a template. So you have 3 slides, 3 minutes to pitch. With your consent, we will share your contact details. So if you see someone you would like to match with at the event, or someone likes your idea, then you can contact each other and perhaps develop a consortium. Of course, we can't guarantee any matches, but we are running this event specifically for entities that are looking to find a partner.
What's the deadline of this project, FOODITY project?
Sorry?
The deadline or the deadline?
The deadline to apply for this open call is the 10th of July.
10th of July. It's okay. So I can find someone to help me for this one.
Good luck.
Okay, thank you.
And a question from Marcus Dash. Go for it, Marcus.
So, good day. I don't know whether I'm audible there. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So, I'm Marcus Dashi from Nigeria, and I'm part of a team, a startup that we are into ecological solutions and food and nutrition. So, my question goes like this, and if we're to look for a partner, are we going for SME or social innovation? And must it be in EU, or we can get a partner here in Nigeria?
So Nigeria
well-
is, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, because yeah, you mentioned you need to start about like team to form the consortium. So I need to know, must we get one from EU member country?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The project is aimed at solutions for the European market. So Nigeria is a Horizon Europe associated country. However, the lead partner must be a technical European partner, okay? In which case you would need to find a technical partner in Europe. And if you yourself are also on the technical side, you will need to find a third partner, which would be a social innovation partner, and then they must be a not-for-profit. Okay? I hope that's clear.
Yeah, that's clear.
All right, and I think we have time for one. We close at 15 after, right? So we have time
Yes.
for one more question from someone called First Served. Floor is yours.
Hi, thank you for the presentation. I just had a very quick question. I know that based on the guidelines, it can be the consortium can be all be from the same country or different countries. Is there a preference? In other words, is it seemed more favorable to have a multi-country, or does it not matter at all?
This doesn't matter. It's about your work plan. We want to see evidence that you're entering the European market and that you're not just focused on the country that you're coming from. So you can also be coming from different countries, but also maybe present a weak work plan. So it's really about showing your capacity to enter the market. Also depending, of course, on what TRL you're at. You're not going to be scored any higher or lower depending on whether partners are from the same country.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
Great. I think that's all. Again, any questions that we might have missed or not clear, the emails or the discussion forum are open for those. So back to you, Nika, for the closing.
Thank you. Thanks, Sam, for taking care of that. Okay, I want to thank you all again for being here. A special thanks to Samuel for explaining the project. A special thanks to Hans and Fadwa for talking about the brilliant data architecture that we've built. And also thank you so much to Maja for going over DRG for food. We are continuously happy to be collaborating in this way. We really look forward to receiving your proposals. We hope you found this webinar useful, and please reach out with additional questions. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.